Chima's father and his best friend Motsi Okeke traveled to a distant village to consult with a renowned native doctor. The native doctor, after a series of rituals and divinations, revealed the truth. He stated that the disappearances were the work of a vengeful spirit, a daughter of Umuoma who had been wronged long time ago. Chima's father listened in shock as the native doctor recounted the tale of the murdered parents and the baby that was thrown into the forest only to be saved by a mermaid. Realizing the gravity of their past actions, Chima's father and Motsi Okeke returned to Umuoma with a heavy heart. He gathered the villagers and shared the revelation, urging them to acknowledge their sins and seek forgiveness. The elders, recognizing the truth in the native doctor's words, decided to hold a ceremony to atone for the village's past transgressions. So they all agreed to contribute money and buy the necessary items for the ritual and cleansing, which they did, and finally bought the items as required by the village chief priest. When Kechi heard that the village of Umuoma want to do some rituals regarding what is happening in order to appease her parents' spirit and equally calm her vengeance, she laughed and decided to allow them carry on with the rituals. On that night, as few elderly men gathered to do the needful, and the chief priest had brought all the necessary items and was about to start his incantation, suddenly Kechi appeared from nowhere and interrupted the gathering by sending forth thunder to strike them. The thunder strike killed the chief priest, 5 other elderly men including Chima's father and his best friend Motsi Okeke. When the whole village of Umuoma heard the tragedy that befell on their fathers and how they were killed by thunder as they were about to perform some rituals to appease Kechi's parents' spirit, their hearts bleed and their hopes were shattered without knowing what next to do in the face of adversity. They called a meeting to send forth another group of people to visit another native doctor on behalf of Umuoma village, but all the men involved declined and was very scared of Nkechi's next line of action. Some men and their families started to flee from Umuoma while others hid without coming out from their various houses. Their neighboring community Umonta circulated a message of warning never to see them anywhere within their village in order not to contaminate them with their evil deed. Umuoma village remained unproductive and silent like a graveyard for months. Nobody came to ask for their daughter's hand in marriage, while other neighboring villages equally do not allow their daughters to get married in the village of Umuoma. This continued in the surface of Umuoma's village to the extent that people find it difficult to do their various businesses, thereby finding it difficult to feed again, and then starvation was order of the day in the same land known to be fruitful some months ago. One fateful evening, Odra the Queen Mother called Nkechi, after watching the whole village of Umuoma suffering and languishing in hunger, concerning the evil they knew nothing about. Odra pleaded with Nkechi to withdraw her anger and also to remember that Umuoma village is still her village. She reminded her that the blood that flows through her veins still remains that of Umuoma blood. She pleaded with Nkechi and made her to understand that she has taken enough revenge and needed to pardon the whole villagers because the innocent ones are paying the price of what they knew nothing about. Nkechi after a while accepted with only one condition. She told Odra she will seize her vengeance if only the whole families involved in her parents' death will be banished and never to return to Umuma village again. Odra granted her condition and gave her go-ahead order to do according to her wish. So on a fateful day Nkechi confided on a man called Ikenta from Umuma and narrated the whole story to him. She told him she is the one that have been taking the wealthy sons of Umuma away in the name of marriage, and to clear his doubt, she took Ikenta to a place where she kept them. Only then Ikenta was convinced of all the story Nkechi had told him. When Ikenta met Chima and other two men Nkechi revenged on, they all pleaded with Ikenta to do all Nkechi asked of him in order to save the village of Umuma and their generation, and equally assured him that nothing will happen to him provided he will do all that was required. Nkechi then instructed Ikenta to go around the village and convince them that he has gotten the permanent solution to their problems and that he is ready to eradicate whosoever that is tormenting their village. It was a very difficult task for Ikenta because of the nature of their village, but finally he realized that the future of his community lies on his hands. Then he summoned courage and started circulating the message. Umioma village on hearing this ignored the call. All they said was that Ikenta is plotting to eradicate them once and for all, that he has taken a bribe to bring them outside for their enemies to finally wipe them out. But Ikenta still went ahead on a daily basis announcing his new plans to restore peace in the land. After several days, as the villagers watched him still moving around alive, they started to gather courage to work with Ikenta. Meanwhile, the three men that plotted this evil that has turned the entire village upside down were still alive, but was very scared to run away or even to confess. Ever since the incident started haunting the village, they had no peace. On that day, Ikenta instructed the villagers that none should stay behind. If anyone stays behind without coming to the village square, that the person will die even before the ritual begins. With such information, the entire village of Umuma left their home, all walked to the village square, craving and paying for peace to be restored. Only the three evil men was absent from the gathering. Instead, they were hiding and was walking through the bush to escape, but unexpectedly met Odra the mermaid, who stood next to them and ordered them to go back. They fell down on their knees to beg her, but Odra told them to go back to the village square to confess or face her wrath. Nkechi had already introduced herself to the entire villagers and assured them that their captivity will end that day. But still they were in great fear until the three evil men walked inside the crowd shouting, "Please do not kill us, please do not kill us," and as the villagers stood in confusion, the men started confessing how they plotted and killed Nkechi's parents because of envy. Immediately after their confession, Nkechi asked Ikenta to pass the judgment on them, which stated that anyone caught with such evil act should be banished together with their families forever. The entire village of Umuma sent them and their entire families together with their livestock out of Umuma village and instructed them never to return again in their entire life. Finally, peace was restored and Umuoma village welcomed their 3 lost sons home as Nkechi had decided to release them from her captive den. As Nkechi waved goodbye to them, she journeyed on another village very far away from them to start a new life.